Alright, hello everyone, we're back with more FF14. Vector, want to do something fun? Can you write me up a college level or university level thesis slash dissertation on Mudbray? You can make it about anything about Mudbray. So those you met fare no better. I was afraid you would say that. I know we were warned against meddling in their affairs, but we can't leave them like this. Perhaps we might gain permission to have the contingent deliver supplies. Quintus may have made his feelings on the matter quite clear, but even he must recognize they are not in a position to refuse help. Maybe Jullus could persuade him? Though we need to persuade Jullus first. Nothing? You have no feelings about Mudbray? Why not? It's a horse. He's a ground-type horse that goes bray. Well, seen enough. Jullus, the people here have barely enough food and fuel to survive. Have you and the other soldiers been able to procure any more supplies? We've been scavenging provisions from nearby houses, as most families kept some stored away in the event that they were snowed in. Still, going out and getting it is dangerous work, and we've a lot of mouths to feed. Fuel is the greater concern, though we had some ceruleum set aside until it was stolen. We haven't identified the culprit. Could have been other refugees or one of the afflicted, for all we know. Either way, we're down to the last dregs. Without the heating they need, those poor in health are only going to get worse instead of better. I think there's like one kid in this place. If it's ceruleum you need, our contingent has secured a ready supply. We can have some sent over. We will not accept your charity. If we can hold on a little longer, the situation is sure to change. Everything will change. One of your comrades mentioned something along those lines. Those mysterious countrymen of yours, I assume? Heard something of it, have you? Well, from what I've seen, there's little you could do to interfere, so there's no harm in telling you. One of our scouts spotted a hooded man issuing instructions to the afflicted, or in the bastard's words, loyal servants of the Telafari. Then he made his way inside the Imperial Palace, or what stands in its place. We'd identified the seat of the enemy's power, we realized. Lord Quintus dispatched a messenger to the 10th Legion saying as much, and instructed them to join forces with the Provincial Legions, to prepare for a combined assault on the Telafari. Once our allies arrive, your contingent will be sent running for the hills. Then we shall reclaim the capital by our own hand. And how do you intend to survive it in the meantime? At this rate, many of your countrymen will perish long before reinforcements reach Garlemald. They need help now! Say the word and we will bring you ceruleum. I will speak with Lord Quintus. Lord Quintus tells you to go fuck yourself, you small bitch. So, did he agree to it? No, he will not place Garlemald in the debt of her enemies. I have, however, been ordered to search for ceruleum outside. As you are under my watch, you will come with me. Very well. After all, many hands make light work. You are a lot more trouble than you are worth. Alphina's been watching Letterkenny. Once we're outside, you will follow my instructions to the letter. We depart shortly. You're surprised they didn't blame me for the cerulean theft? Yeah. Sick, I leveled up. What did I get for that? Elemental Mastery. Well, I get a new ability, don't I? Favorite? The flow. Okay, so that's what that becomes. His park materials. They're not going to be better than these. These are 525. We will begin our search for ceruleum in Regio Urbanissima. The first location is Forum Soleus, a park to the northwest of the station. You will remain close at all times and act only as ordered. Follow me. You like that they said not to use magic in the station and you still have your carbuncle out. I can't tell Carbuncle what to do anyway. Carbuncle does what Carbuncle does. You might say that Carbuncle's been the warrior of light this whole time. Carbuncle's been going around eating their rations. He doesn't need to eat food, he's just been doing it. Hey look, there's an ether current up there. Let's go get that. So this was a park, apparently. There's absolutely no explanation for it. Yeah. I think I've gotten at least 3 of the ether currents in this area. 999 yalms to the west. Well, that's interesting. So this is the park. I'm surprised they found space for one amongst all these buildings. Actually, the recreational areas came first. The houses were built later around them. A healthy society requires communal spaces for children to play and adults to socialize. This park was named after the founding father of the empire, the great Solus Zoscalvus. We actually met Solus. It was Emmett Salk. Did we come to extract ceruleum from the wrecked Magitech armor? No, we've already drained it dry. Same goes for the rest of the Machina in the vicinity. But as our ceruleum's been stolen, we must scour the city for every last drop. And while I don't expect to find anything here, I've decided to try one more time, in case something has been overlooked. I see. Then with your permission, we will commence the search. It's a magical being. It needs no sustenance. Why won't it stop? It's Tataru's carbuncle. Oh, I do wonder whatever happened to Tataru's carbuncle. Did it just fade back into the ether, or is it out there to this day? I think it'd be funnier if it was still out there, wreaking havoc on the countryside. A cursory inspection of the wrecked Magitech armor confirms that the fuel canisters have long since been drained of ceruleum, as Jullus said. Julius? Is it Julius or Jullus? I always thought it was Jullus. Hang on, let me see. Yeah, I think it's Jullus. Or Jullus. It's now leading the Asians. Well, as far as we know, there's only one Asian left, and that's Van Daniel. There might be some of the lesser ones, but we haven't seen them in fucking forever. The contraption is built in the style of an Imperial War Machina, armed with a battery of weapons and capable of transforming into different configurations. But on close inspection, it appears to be no more than a children's slide. Sorry, somebody has decided to change the date that they usually do the lawn stuff, and they're out there doing it now. That's because I had the mic muted, but also, even then, I doubt you would have. It's just, if they get any louder, I don't want it coming in through the recording. Several points of interest are marked on the map of the Forum Solis. The pond, children's play area. To your knowledge, however, none would require the use of ceruleum. shop counter. Though rather small by Garlean standards, the structure is reminiscent of a merchant's stall. Perhaps it was built for children to play at shopkeeper. There's nothing inside resembling Magitech or any other devices that would be fueled by ceruleum. We'll talk to Jullus. If something makes Fan Daniel upset, do they call him Grim Fan Daniel? They might. Oh, it's you. Any luck? There's no sign of any ceruleum. Hardly surprising, but disappointing nonetheless. I couldn't help you notice you gazing at the pond. Is something the matter? I'm surprised the water is not frozen. What? Yes, I mean, no, it's just, I used to bring my brother and sister here to play. The pond was heated to stop it from freezing over, so like all the other children, they used to wade in and splash about. Would have stayed there if I didn't drag them out. We'd be sopping wet when all was said and done, every time. And every time, when we'd get home, Mother would scold us, saying we'd catch our death walking around like that. If the pond was heated... Was it a ceruleum-powered heater by chance? I suppose it must have been. Come to think of it, I remember seeing engineers changing out a tank beneath the hatch. But that was a long time ago, when the water still flowed clear and wasn't this brackish muck. We can't see a thing, and I can't remember where the hatch might be. With the machinery lost, most likely broken, the amount of filth in there is probably the only reason it hasn't frozen over. I'd wager it's still unbearably cold, though. Jullus, what are your thoughts on magic? The average Garlean would jump out of their skin if they saw it, but the first has a few foreign signiferi and medici, so it doesn't scare me. Then I take it you won't mind if I employ a little now? Alphino, as you have a knack for finding dry wood, why don't you bring me some? Once that's done, a blast of a fire should do the trick. Leave it to me. They really like to remind us that Alphino can look for firewood now. You're not planning to go in there, are you? Of course I am. That tank isn't going to fetch itself. It's nothing so involved as extracting unprocessed ceruleum from a frozen lake, like how the tappers do it. We're talking about a shallow pond in a park, and we have a way of warming ourselves up after. But that's insane! So, fancy a dip? The last thing we need is you catching cold. Step aside while I drink the pond dry. That way, we'll find it in no time. You find your wood, Alfie. If you're that concerned for my well-being, you can dive in and help me look. The quicker we find the ceruleum, the sooner we can get out of here. Alphino's an expert wood hunter. Hello, I was saying. You delve into the murky water, but come up empty-handed. To add an injury to the insult, the icy wind on your damp clothing chills you to the bone. Fuck that noise. Just saying, how do you feel about insult to injury? The cataclysm, faithfully recreated. Beneath the water, your fingers catch on what you think might be a handle. Should be mandatory. Open the hatch and you open the hatch and receive a ceruleum tank. However, your grand discovery comes at a great personal cost as you begin to acutely aware of the freezing cold and rancid odor emanating from every elm of your body. Jullus will doubtless feel compelled to pinch his nose shut when you deliver him your prize. Zeus believes in adding insult to injury? It's true. He adds insult to injury for even the slightest slight against him. Did you find anything? Oh, I hope you did. That's it! And there's still some ceruleum left! Ah, the fire's still not ready. Hold on, I'll give Alvino a hand. Oh, Zeus believes in adding injury to insult. Sorry, I was glancing out of the corner of my eye. I mean, my statement's still true, just again in the reverse. He does like to add injury to insult. Call me an Ul'dan, because by fire I am reborn. And my clothes are mostly dry now, too. I appreciate you recovering the ceruleum, but I wish you'd taken the time to discuss the plan with me beforehand. Despite the way you've been treated, in Lord Quintus's eyes, you're still envoys deserving of protection. If you were to die on my watch, he would be most displeased. Your concern is duly noted, but all's well that ends well. Alvino, why are you warming your balls by the fire? Jullus, you mentioned coming here with your younger siblings. Did you grow up in Garlemald? I did, not far from here. My father was an accomplished researcher in his youth, and for his contributions to the Empire, awarded an estate. We lived well, better than many. What was Garlemald like in those days? Everything. It was everything you could imagine, and so much more. Even during the coldest winters, we always found warmth and comfort at home. Coming in from the snow, taking off your coat, sitting down for a hot meal with family. Visiting friends and relatives, receiving that same welcome, knowing they had everything they needed. Walking down the street, seeing the lights in all the houses, hearing the faint sound of laughter and song, of happiness. I can relate to that, actually. I grew up in a small little, like, equivalent of a mountain town that Ontario has. And, you know, it snowed a lot there. And although the summers came and went all too quickly, in that brief respite, the ice would melt and forgotten grass make its triumphant return. Gray clouds gave way to blue skies. Some mornings we'd climb to the top of the tallest building we could find to watch the sunrise. I see we're getting API errors. Never again. Those rooftops are rubble. Those friends dead and those memories. But if I could reclaim even a fraction of what we once had. Soon, our chances will come. We just need to hold on a little longer. Alas, I don't mean Ridgetown, and I don't, I mean actual snow. Hang on a sec, guys, I'm gonna go into the commands here. Not commands, quotes. We're gonna fix this one real quick. I have it on my mind. You know, it always concerned me that they call it Final Fantasy XIV Online when it could just be Final Fantasy XIV. They don't need to distinguish that it's online because there isn't an offline. Like Dragon Quest X, I get because there's an offline and an online version now. No good deed. Alright, now that you've recovered from your escapades in the pond, there's another location I'd like to search, just outside the park. Jeremy, how much cocaine did you do in your youth, by the way? Did you upset Ridgetown when you did? As you can see, this place is littered with the remnants of various type of war machina. While my comrades and I have already covered the tanks from the less damaged units, those that took some more severe beatings are harder to scavenge. We decided to save those for another time, that time being now. He thinks he's the best. Rather than prize them apart piece by piece, it would be quicker to remove the outer casing using compact explosives. With luck, we'll gain access to the tanks without rupturing them. Though the force generated by these devices is relatively weak, I would advise you stand well clear to avoid being hit by any shrapnel. Before even bothering, though, you should check the Machina ceruleum gauge to see if there's any left. It would still provide an accurate reading even when the unit itself is inactive. If the gauge is broken, I'll let you decide whether or not to use an explosive or not. Should you need more, come to me. Understood. Let's get to work. Saying, if you got into a fight with Alpha now, do you think you'd win? According to ceruleum gauge, this unit's fuel tank is empty. The ceruleum gauge appears to have been broken. Alright, let's just do it. You retrieve the Warmock ceruleum tank to find it is still half full, or half empty, depending on one's perspective. Anyway, you will surely be pleased by your discovery. Also, Jeremy, if you got into a fight with Alphino, what would your special move be called? More explosives? Wait, is that what I think it is? Dude, have your ceruleum tank. You've done it again. Truly, luck is on your side. With this, we should be able to refuel quite a few of our heaters. It's time we headed back. Wait here while I go and see how Elsa and Alphino are faring. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait here. Apparently I am. It'd be called Defenestrating the Small Bitch.
Finally escaped the watchful gaze of your keepers, have we? Don't react. You'll only draw attention to yourself. Just carry on as you are and listen. After you left with the Garlean lad, Lucia bade a few of us scouts follow you at a discreet distance. We observed you being led into the station, but decided against venturing inside. When you emerged sometime later, and we saw that the twins were sporting Magitech collars, it was clear what had taken place. Now, as quietly as you can, tell me everything. The Legatus himself, eh? Now there's a surprise. This is also the first I've heard of a plan to join forces with the 10th and storm the Tower of Babel. An interesting development, and perhaps the opportunity we've been waiting for. Our comrades back at the camp also received some rather promising news, but it's still too early to get our hopes up. For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them. With luck, this will all be over soon. Until then.
They had not gone far.
We searched high and low, but no luck, I'm afraid. I might have guessed you'd be the only one to find anything.
I wasn't expecting much to begin with. Eventually, there will be nothing left out here for us to safely salvage. For now, this will have to suffice. We should return to the station.
Vanquish's just been showing up inside the station, whispering to the Legatus.
Ah, there you are. Heard you'd gone hunting for ceruleum above ground. Brought back a king's ransom?
Hardly. But thanks to these three, we have enough to last a little while longer.
Well, well. It's not at all as I was expecting, these ones. For savages, they seem positively docile. It's a poor attempt at humor. In all honesty, I'm grateful for your efforts. But even with another night of warmth, there are those among us who may not live to see the morrow.
I trust your expedition was fruitful.
Lord Quintus!
Use what you procured to refuel the armor.
But, sir, what about the heaters for the camp?
The time for action is upon us. My men and I have matters to discuss. In the meantime, you are to wait here. Do not forget, you are being watched.
The time for action. What did he mean by that?
I can only speculate. Clearly something requiring their magitech, given what we just heard. Whether they plan to utilize it now, or after they join with the 10th, is another question. Will they ever escape this cold? Return to and reclaim the idyllic spaces of which Jullus spoke?
Finished your war, Council?
Alphino and Alizé are to stay here as our prisoners. They will be released once your comrades have relinquished their supplies and withdrawn from Garlean soil. Until our terms are met, they will be detained at a separate location.
After everything we've said and done, this is how you treat us.
Our allies have but limited supplies. They may stave off cold and starvation for a short while, but what then?
For now, keeping yourselves out of harm's way comes before all else. Whatever demands the Garleans make, indulge them.
Everything will be alright. Have faith.
Get them out of here.
Alphino and Alisave will be fine, provided they do not resist. Alia iacta est. I'm pretty sure that's Latin for the die is cast, I think. You will accompany me back to your camp, where I will meet with your leader and present Lord Quintus's demands. Before we depart, however, there's something I would ask of you. Assuming your contingent complies, the supplies they surrendered will need to be transported here. That task falls to the legionnaires Marcellinus and Octavia, who will pilot magic armor to your headquarters. You are to inform them that we are leaving shortly. Tell them to ask the Ile for further details in those words. Once you've seen to that, meet me by the exit. Is it bad if it raises 6% of your cast as red? Yes. It's a... it's a Latin for Alphino's balls of gold. You again. Ask the Ile, he said. So that's to be the way of it. After all this. How ironic that you should be the one to deliver the news. If those are my orders, then so be it. For the glory of Garlemald. He didn't seem too happy to hear that. What do you want with me? Ask the Ile. So Lord Quintus has reached a decision. I knew he would understand, that he would recognize the savage is a ruthless, merciless creature, and to defeat him, we too must be uncompromising. I am ready. In the name of Emperor Varus, for the glory of Garlemald, I will fulfill my duty. But yeah, saying 6% of your cast being Varese is not great. Hey Jullus, did you know I had a dragon with me? Have you done as instructed? Their duties involve more than the transportation of supplies, don't they? Duty is really a simple thing. We have been given additional orders, though whether we will be required to follow them depends entirely on your contingent. You and I are in this together now, like it or not. We have to cooperate. There is one other matter. A place I'd like to visit on the way to your camp. It's a short walk from here. Follow me. Jeremy, if you went into the future and found out that you were married to Jullus, would you be upset? Yes? Why, you don't like Jullus? I don't like that my leg is itchy. It's super rude. Hey guys, look at that. Automated death machine is the same model as Warmech from Final Fantasy 1. Can I jump over this? Oh, there you go. Hey, Jullus. Was this your house? Jullus lingers by the ruins, reluctant to leave and reluctant to stay, unable to move on. Right here? Alright.
This is my home. Our home. At least it was until that night. I was with Lord Quintus when the capital fell, and thus spared. My family, who did not own a radio, were less fortunate. When dawn came, I made my way here. My parents, my little brother and sister, they were still inside. But they weren't themselves, and they tried to. And I had to. I'd promised to take them away from the capital that very morning, to somewhere safe, to hide until the fighting stopped. I promised. The Garlean flag bears a chain, the bonds between our countrymen. A red link at its center, the blood of the fallen. Our loved ones who lived and died for Garlemald. But if she too fell, who would be left to remember them and their sacrifice? What enduring proof would there be that they were ever here? If we had turned to your gods, would they have saved us? I'm sorry, forget I spoke. We should go.
It's no use.
Believe me, I do not enjoy being here any more than you. But she wanted us to play along, so that is what we will do.
It's so cold.
Painfully so. Unbearably.
I've been thinking about what Quintus said. About why no one would accept Garlean rule. Irreconcilable differences. When coexistence isn't an option, only conquest remains. Varys at Gimlet said much the same. Only by uniting the world beneath a single standard would we rid ourselves of the Ascians. United as one people, one race cleansed of imperfections. A cold and unforgiving vision. And when we fail to live up to their standards, what place is there for us in their world? But the truly sad, truly frustrating thing is how damnably similar it all is to the lofty ideals of Father and the Forum. Non-intervention. Always non-intervention. Protect our knowledge and our people, and to hells with the rest of you. And yet, I can see how it happened. Varys and Father looked to their elders for guidance and took their virtues as their own. But for this world was of their making. In who else could they place their trust? All of us lost in a sea of chaos. searching desperately for purpose and meaning. But it shouldn't just be an extension of another's. It has to be ours. It has to be. We all have a stake in this world. No one should be silenced.
I won't deny that we lack the experience of people such as Father or Quintus. Perhaps they've come to see the world as a series of problems, and the most efficient way of solving them, to reduce everything to fundamental forms. A stone is a stone, a cloud, a flower, no more than that. Simple descriptions that strip the subject of distinguishing characteristics. A man is a man, divided according to race, creed, or allegiance, and to some, defined by such associations.
Is that what you think?
In my misbegotten youth. But what I believed wisdom was no more than aggressive ignorance. I've since learned to look beyond the banners and the politics, to see people as individuals with their own hopes and dreams. As for my dream of building a better world, well, every day I'm reminded that it is far more complex than I had ever imagined. But it only spurs me onward, to find the wisdom and the strength to see it through to the very end.
All of our supplies and an immediate withdrawal. These are your conditions?
Demands. And you forgot about the airship. Once again, you will leave one behind. It will be used to return the prisoners. Their collars will be removed prior to the exchange.
So in the end, not even Father's expertly worded rhetoric could deter you from your chosen course.
Huh?
Not that I thought for a moment that it would. I've no love for violence, of course, but ours is a cause worth fighting for. I just wish he'd realize it too. Sometimes the only way to protect the ones you love is to take a stand, to refuse to suffer in silence. I want you to know I share your conviction. Whether it be on the battlefield or in the debating chamber, I won't back down. I guess what I'm saying is...
You've found your own reason to fight.
Yes. Yes, I have. God's willing, there will come a day when we can finally lay down our arms, and there will be peace. But not until the Telophoroi have been defeated once and for all. And you, brother, will have a vital part to play. By your words and deeds, you'll lead the way.
I pray I am up to the task.
There'll always be naysayers. Those who think us fools for even trying. It's easy for learned elites to criticize earnest efforts and assert their moral superiority, all without offering alternatives. Not that their sophistry has ever wounded you. So stubborn and strong. Stronger than you even know. Don't ever change, you hear me? If you stumble, I'll be there to catch you. Or give you a thick ear. Maybe both, for good measure.
Thank you, Alice.
The scouts have secured Alizé and Alphino. Their collars were removed without complication as well. They report no casualties, not for their party nor the guards, who will wake from their premature slumber in due course.
It would appear the situation has changed. I propose new terms. We have information that will be of great interest to Lord Quintus, and I wish to speak with him in person.
No. In the event you rejected our first proposal, we came prepared with a second.
Ambush!
More are coming! Make ready!
We, the loyal soldiers of the First Legion, proud servants of Garlemald, of the fallen Emperor Varys, shall safeguard these lands from the barbarian hordes until our countrymen return! Stop, both of you!
This child may be the worst emissary I have ever seen.
We received an urgent communication from the Grand Company of Eorzea. Envoys from the Imperial Army, led by members of the 10th Legion, came to Alamigo and requested an audience. They explained that their efforts to coordinate the reclamation of the capital with the aid of the 4th, 5th, 8th, and 12th had ended in failure. Communication between most legions has broken down entirely. Most of the 10th's conscripts have deserted, leaving their forces severely depleted. That is why, unable to continue the fight on their own, they and their allies turned to the Grand Company of Eorzea for aid.
Lies! Every word!
It is the truth, and I have not finished. The 10th has requested that we deliver a message to Lord Quintus. Have the ill stand down.
You have been listening, my lord? What are your orders?
Inform her that we will honor the 10th's decision. Bereft of hope, and now dignity. I release you from your duty. All of you. I take solace, your radiance, in the knowledge you are not here to witness our debasement. 'Twas a grand, glorious dream we shared. Of a world united, of peace and prosperity. We are ghosts, you and I, memories of days gone by. Bonds forged in blood that I will not see tarnished.
Quickly! We have to reach the station before it's too late.
If there is still a chance that Quintus will agree to a truce, we must take it.
I just hope we get there before he and his men do something rash.
All right, ladies and gents, it is break time, so I'll be right back, and then we will continue to see the aftermath of that.